Greetings in the name of the Most High God. Chang! Rastafari, holy man with I. When you know it's the King Selassie I rule, and Rasta will vote for PNP, you know. You see, any Rasta used to vote for JP, a fraud. Because back in 1968, Bustamante was a JP leader. And him kill out all Rasta down a Carol Garden. And I know them will give Rasta with compensation and giving no justice. They must give it borrow and borrow. So, you see me as a real Rasta man, we can't vote for the JP, you know. That's why I have to vote for PNP. So here Rasta now. Me love me like me PNP. Me like me JNP. Me like power, for the people. It has start from Michael Manley, who free up Rasta picking and say Rasta we go in a school. Then the time the JP used to lock out a school. And I go like they want to turn me in a pool. Michael Manley take the train. Him say Rasta we go in a class. Rasta we go in a university. Rasta we have no ability. Rasta we work in a bank. Rasta we turn teacher. Rasta we turn big scholar. Rasta now we turn no food. That's why me love me like PNP. Me like the JLP. That's why you have to vote for Stacey. Time come, fear change, PNP, we arrange, never tell you say, it not strange, other people may say, you say you're right, come and tell you say, you love Papa night, I'm going to tell you say, you love Mama night, everything gonna be alright, so come to take care of that, constant advocate for those people who are currently able. The sheriff, and there will only be one sheriff. Now and forever, Comrade KD Knight. Comrade Chairman of the People's National Party, Comrade Angela Brown.
And your next member of parliament, Horace facing that. You don't want to end up in Horace. The People's National Party, Angie is how much? Is 1/3 of our candidates are female. Of his 21 female candidates, that is something that we must celebrate as a party. Alright, I want to say one message here. I want you to continue to believe in Horace Station. Yes, it's been 27 years under one leadership, but you can break it. Because when you look, if you look at the voters list, there are about 21,000 voters and no more than 10,000 votes in each election. So you have an opportunity. And one of the complaints I get all the time in this constituency, there are PMP votes, but the people have not come out. So there are PMP votes in this constituency that you can pull out that have not been pulled out. So I just want to say, yes, you're in a challenging seat, but believe in your candidate because she has come here with enthusiasm. She has come here with commitment. And she has come here with fire to take this seat for the People's National Party. Comrades, I just want to share with you, because you've been here long, about what your party will do to ensure that we grow this economy, that we build a Jamaica, that every single one of you and your children can participate. And I'm going to talk about 5 E's of how we will transform this economy. The first E relates to education. And the problem we have in education is that we are producing too many children who leave schools like Liberty and other primary schools. And when they get to high school, they cannot perform because they don't have the foundation. Many of them get to high school and are reading at the grade 2 and the grade 3 level. And as such, by the time they go through high school, because they go to first form and second form, they read 5th form. And when they leave high school, they can barely read and write, and they don't have the skills to function in this society. So our first commitment is to transform education. And we're going to do that by putting the resources at the basic and the primary school level. And there's 3 basic things children need to learn to do. They need to learn to read, they need to learn to write, and they have to be able to do a little maths. Those are the 3 basic skills that children need to do. And we're going to put the resources so that when your children come through basic school, come through primary school, and they get to high school, they're equipped to perform at the high school level. Now you might say, why is this important? Because if we don't fix education, you can build a society where everybody can eat some of the pie. We don't want the crumbs will fall off of the table. And the only way we can get the cake is if we have the skills and the expertise and the training to take advantage of the opportunities that are there. And while the government can boast and say unemployment is at record low levels, the reality is that we have 700,000 Jamaicans who are outside the workforce, but that means them not the poor. And all of us, if I go to my constituency at any point in time in the middle of the day, people just sit down here. We have to build a Jamaica where we can get more Jamaicans to want to participate in the workforce. And the only way we can do that is to ensure that we give them the skills and the expertise. There are too many children who don't come to school because their parents can't afford to send them to school. So we have made a commitment that every child in need will get at least 1 hot meal per day when they come to school. Minimum. I remember, when we talk about, and you say, and the corruption, thieving, so that we can include breakfast and lunch. So nobody has an excuse why the people have to stay at home. And then we're going to go further. We're going to say for public transportation, we're going to ensure that you have a subsidy provided, so that even if you have the lunch money, but you can't find the bus fare, we will ensure that your child can get to school. Because if the people them and miss 1 and 2 days of school in Canada, you are confining them to a future of poverty. So we are committed as an administration to moving those impediments so that everybody gets an opportunity to get the best possible education. For those students who matriculate, because if the people them and miss 1 and 2 days of school in Canada, you are confining them to a future of poverty. So we are committed as an administration to moving those impediments so that everybody gets an opportunity to get the best possible education. For those students who matriculate, meaning they go through high school and they want to go to university, we're going to make it easier for them. We know that many of them don't have the money to pay the fees, and that the student loan bureau can be difficult. Your Prime Minister in waiting, Comrade Mark Golden, 2 years ago, lobbied and recommended that they remove the guarantors, and the government, the carbon copy government did it. We're going to go further with the Student Loan Bureau. We are going to link whatever your salary is to your repayment. So let me explain what I mean. So let's say you borrow $2 million to go to university, and Student Loan Bureau say you must pay about $30,000 a month. But the job you have, you can only afford to pay about 15. Because after you take out the rent money and the taxi fare and the food money, etc., you can only pay 15. We will allow you to pay the 15. No, whatever the figure is, we will allow you to pay it. Because that is what your salary can afford. Now you have to bring in your salary paper and show that you can afford it. And most importantly, we're going to ensure that your account is not categorized as being in the pocket. Because what is happening now to the students, even if they are paying $15,000 every month, because they're supposed to pay 30, student loan bureau saying in the default. And now Jamaica is in the era of credit reporting. So you get a bad credit score. So when you don't pay off the loan and you want to buy a car or you want to buy a house, you can't do it. So we're going to remove that so that whatever your income can afford, you can pay that. And then we're going to extend the moratorium. What I mean by that? When you don't graduate, the time between when you graduate and you start to repay that loan, we're going to extend that by another 6 months. And the reason we're doing that, one, we know many people don't get a job immediately after they graduate. And even if they get a job, they're facing bills but they never have before. They have to deal with rent money, all the other things. So we say we're going to give you an additional break so that you can start to pay your student loan a little bit later. Comrades, the second E you're going to go to relates to energy and the cost of electricity. Jamaica can grow when we are paying 40 US cents per kilowatt hour. And just to give you a comparison, when we left in 2016, it was 23 cents per kilowatt hour. But because when the first Minister of Energy came in 2016, the only thing him come to do a fatigue, they mash up the energy ministry. And it has taken them 8 years to put together any kind of plan, and then have a plan. For every 2-3 years when we were there, we have sunlight, so we introduce requests for proposal to add solar to the grid so it can bring down the cost of energy. It's only last year for the first time in 8 years this government do. We are committed to having a proper energy plan to deal with electricity theft, by going into communities where you have holy TV taking place, installing mini grids, having solar grids so that people don't have to depend on the grid. And can use solar and generate their own electricity. Because the reality is, we know many people who do it because they don't really want it. But the cost of wine in the house is high. The cost of going to GI to get it certified is expensive. So we're going to implement a program where we provide you the support so you can rewire your house, get it certified, and then we have mini grids that will provide the electricity. Because if I ask you for those who pay, what is your biggest bill? They're going to tell me it's your light bill. And the country can't grow because business can't grow if all the money earned is going to pay the electricity bill. So your government is committed to bringing down the cost of energy so that we can free up resources and grow our economy. The third E is what I call emerging economies. And there are some industries, or cultural and creative industries. And let me tell you what I mean. You see the cupboard and I know I'm well. Every time I speak to someone living at the constituents, so I see them all the time. The singer them, the artists them, the painters, the potters, the people who have put Jamaica on the map, that has allowed Jamaica to punch above its weight. The cultural and creative industries, we are going to establish a fund of $1 billion per year to provide support for those persons in those industries. So you, the next time I see you, you must tell me, say you go in the studio and you build a tune there, and that tune they can run every time from Red Space Line up on the road. Because another few one who can run them tune and build them tune there. There are hundreds of others. And so we're going to provide a fund to support the persons who have that kind of government. The problem with this government is that the Prime Minister has concentrated almost 50% of the government on the field workforce. The whole of the office of the Prime Minister, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, every single agency, the cultural and creative industries, we are going to establish a fund of $1 billion per year to provide support for those persons in those industries. So you, the next time I see you, you must tell me, say you go in the studio and you build a tune there, and that tune they can run every time from Red Space Line up on the road. Because another few one who can run them tune and build them tune there. There are hundreds of others. And so we're going to provide a fund to support the persons who have that kind of time. More efficient government. The problem with this government is that the Prime Minister has concentrated almost 50% of the government on the field workforce. The whole of the office of the Prime Minister, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, every single agency that you can think of, UDC, Port Authority, it goes on and on. You know, well, we know why I do it. We know why I do it. Because it's a consolidation of power plus other things. But what it has become, comrades, is a bottleneck. So, comrade Knight, you were the chairman of UDC, and this is a real story. A private sector, big private sector player, had a lease with UDC and needed a no objection because he was buying some property there. It took them 1 year because the minister who has responsibility for the UDC is the Prime Minister. And so to sign off on the no objection, 1 year. You can understand. Our Prime Minister in waiting, Comrade Mark Golden, has said he is not going to take the portfolio. He is going to lead something akin to what Comrade Patterson and for the Development Council. And wherever there are impediments in the government system, he will make sure he removes that so that projects can flow through and that we can get the development and the resources that the country needs. And them call it a public investment management system. It takes too long for projects to go through, or we call it pipeline. And to be honest, it now stop them from thinking that they might keep same way. So we have to make that process more efficient and more effective. It can be on average 2 years for a project to go through the procurement process. And so we are going to reform it so that we can free up the resources so that the resources can go for the benefit of the people. It can't be right that Cornwall Regional Hospital, when it first started, they say $1 million to fix it. Then it got to $5 million. Then it got to $10 million. Then it got to 15. Then last year when it reached 21, we said it got 21. This year they had $5 more million on it. We could have built 2 or 3 new hospitals for the money that we're spending on Cornwall. And you know what our performers, if any of you ever have a relative who have to go to KPH, they have to sit down for 1 chair for days before anybody sits. They can't get bed. But yet still this government spending $31 million for 1 newer drill when them say cost $3 million. How you can't go so? The victory here! The 50 is that your leader has said, the man with clean hands and a pure heart, has said he's going to run a government of ethics. He's going to launch a movement, a national movement of restoring values and attitudes. Not led by him or led by politicians, but he's going to reach out to a cross-section of church leaders, of civil society leaders, because we have to bring back good values into our society. But most importantly, he has said he's going to lead by example. We don't know, say he's not coming here for chat. He's not coming here for scream. He's here to serve. And he has made it clear to all of us who are working with him that if we slip on that issue there, we're gone, we're gone. We slide down, we're gone. So he has set the bar for all of us. And so you can depend on your government to make sure that the resources that are there for you will be used for your benefit. There is no democracy in the world. And I said democracy, where you could have a prime minister going not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years, and his integrity report cannot be certified. 4 years. And remember now, he is only one of 8 of them who are under investigation for illicit generation. Look, you know what that means? What it means? A thief, them thief. So we're going into an election, and 7 more of them who we don't know are put up themselves for election while they are under investigation for illicit generation. Comrades, time come for change. Time come for government led by a man with clean hands and pure heart. Time come for a government that will put people first. Time come for a government that will ensure that every Jamaican benefits from what is happening in Jamaica, and not just a handful of people living big while the rest of us suffer. Time come for building equity in our education system, for making tourism work for everybody. So comrades, you have an opportunity where you are. Comrade Knight, please come here. You have with you, and as your candidate, a warrior.
We have a little bit more to go, comrade. And I want to make sure that you keep the energy going. I want to make sure that you surround her and you keep her strong. The other day, what if I love Shaggy? Same way so. The other day I heard some bad mind people talking about who is supporting you. Right? And the sheriff and name them upon you. But you see, you can't blame them. You can't blame them. like to have people who will love you in your life, who supports you in what you are doing. So no matter what is happening, they are there standing right beside you so that you know that you have that kind of support. So that you know that they are indeed the same beneath your wings. Yes? The wind beneath your feet. Right? But comrades, and that is not a small matter. It's a big deal. Because a lot of the problems we have as a society stem from what's happening in our families. Stem from families where we don't see the kind of love that we should see. The bond, the support is not there. Many of you would have seen and heard all of what took place over the last couple of weeks with the raping of our babies. Yes? With our families being torn apart. Comrades, we need a whole change. Jamaica needs something better than what is happening now. Jamaica needs a prime minister who is going to make sure that all of these things occupy his concentration. Jamaica needs a state night in Northeast St. Andrew to ensure that our children are safe, to ensure that in our community we are talking about family and we are talking about a safer community for all of our children. But comrades, for that to take place, we also need a different kind of government. Because we need a government that's paying taxpayers' money right. We need a kind of government. You know, sometimes you talk about corruption, it sounds like a kind of high-falutin thing. And it sounds like it don't matter to you and I. But if the mere you are doing to them, they would call it corruption. They would call it thief. Yes? That they would call it. They would call it thief. So that we call it for what it is. Whether it is stealing money. Anybody remember stealing money? When they take that big money by take, yes, all kind of things. The drill of the trail. The drill is the most recent one, that's true. Comment when people start talking about the drill, I want you to tell them it's a simple matter. A drill was bought for $31 million. And everything we look on and say, $31 million should be spent for that drill. It's a level short of it, you know. And that sounds to me like it's what they would have called corruption. Because it's them big people. But what me and you would have talked about, there you go. It's as simple as that. And you know, when people start thief government money, what does that do? It rob your children in school. Yes? Because they don't have the conditions in school that they need to learn. You can't spend a little bit more to make sure that all our children get the means that they need in school to learn. What it means is that when your family goes to KPH, go to UC, or go to Jubilee, yes, they don't get the kind of, they don't find the kind of conditions that you would want to see your family in. That is the reason why some simple things. You hear me said the other day that government is no longer helping people when they have these serious things to do, medical things to do that they can't pay for. If any of you have anybody who wants to do dialysis, they know what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of us poor people. Dialysis twice a week. How much for one dialysis? 18,000, and that is a cheap one then where you can get. And you have to do 2 per week. Yes? That is 36, almost $40,000. And don't forget that along with dialysis, you have to do the blood test. Yes? Yes. And you have to do all those things every single month. Someone came to my office the other day looking for some help, right, to do their dialysis. And when I looked at the comments, they are going to have to find $100,000. every single month. I want to ask you, what you believe is in the minds of those individuals who are looking on having to spend $100,000 every single month. That does not include food, right? It doesn't include light bill. It doesn't include medication. It doesn't include bus fare to go to the hospital or the doctor. It includes none of that. Jamaica needs better. We need a change. We need a change to a government led by Marco, who is going to be concerned that every dollar spent by government is spent where it's supposed to be. You would have heard Mark Golding say the other day. What did he say? He said that any single one of his ministers, yes, in government, have to give a call for the people's money, and that none of them can bear to pocket any of it, or to take it and give it to their friends. Otherwise, they are going to have to be prepared to pay the consequences to do their dialysis. And when I look at the comments, they are going to have to find $100,000 every single month. I want to ask you, what you believe is in the minds of those individuals who are looking on having to spend $100,000 every single month. That does not include food, right? It doesn't include light bill. It doesn't include medication. It doesn't include bus fare to go to the hospital or the doctor. It includes none of that. Jamaica needs better. We need a change. We need a change to a government led by Marco, who is going to be concerned that every dollar spent by government is spent where it's supposed to be. You would have heard Mark Golding say the other day. What did he say? He said that any single one of his ministers, yes, in government, have to give a call for the people's money, and that none of them can bear to pocket any of it, or to take it and give it to their friends. Otherwise, they are going to have to be prepared to pay the consequences. And that is the kind of Prime Minister Jamaica requires. Jamaica requires a Prime Minister who, year after year, when them sending them documents to the Integrity Commission, that's right. Yes. Can you imagine that we now have a Prime Minister? And for the last couple of years, we are around about this and sending people. And nobody can lead it, right? Because when we go to school, we want to make sure we get a ticket. Like if we're around about we get a pure don't-stop business, that's all. And we're not in a don't-stop business. Alright? We're not in. That's why we talk about the food. But we are paying the mind. We are paying the mind. Comrade, we have to get rid of it. And your task is to walk the highways and byways of Northeast St. Andrew. Make sure you talk to everybody. Don't leave any stone unturned. Don't leave any neighbor who you have not spoken to. Don't leave a family member who you have not spoken to. Don't leave somebody that you meet again for the first time who you have not spoken to. And tell them the wonderful candidate you have. Let them know that for Northeast St. Andrew, there's one thing where I say, that night is right. And on election day, that is what we want to see on the ballot. 9 for Northeast St. Andrew. Let's see. Comrades of the Barbican
water to one back. Comrade Alicia Barker, she's one of our custom managers. Comrade Floyd Morris, Senator Dr. Floyd Morris, my brother, my church brother. Comrade Julian Robinson. Oh, you still like many more kids, eh? Yes, we're still and of course, Comrade Starboy, Katie, Daddy. Comrades one and all of you, Katie said, are warriors, workout warriors. Big up on yourself. Comrades, we have a lot of work to do. We are going to do this together. Somebody earlier on said that we have one goal and it is to get municipality. I want to correct that. That's not the goal. That's just the beginning of the goal. Because when I get into parliament, that's when the work starts to represent me. I want to point out, comrades, some of the speakers we have had here tonight to speak about some of the issues that have been concerned. Comrade Steve McGregor spoke about standards, and you heard him. That's good police. That is a policeman who the community respect. Talk about community policing. Talk about respect between the people and the police to the people. We have a problem in this constituency right now when it comes to that. We have some very good police officers at the Grandside police station. But it seems that somehow, some way, there are some bad eggs, and some of them coming under some kind of instruction that seems to be not respecting our citizens the way we know we ought to. Comrades, we have to fix that. That is something that when I get to Parliament, I will ensure that our police officers are our friends. And our police officers are here to serve and protect, and that they do exactly that. Serve and protect. Comrades, I'm proud to speak with you tonight also. Security is one. The next one is housing. That's why I brought Senator Chung. Housing and sustainable living. How somewhere we live is not sustainable. You hear Floyd say, why am I going to Sandy Park? Sandy Park, we go for the cell. And it's not going to be Sandy Park alone. Sandy Park is just a pilot. That's where we're going to start. But then we're going to move community by community right through the constituency to ensure that affordable housing, quality housing is available to all of you. Comrades, I bring to speak to you tonight, Comrade Angela Brownberg. And one of the reasons why Angela is high on that list is woman power. Boss lady. Comrades, we know that we need to teach us education. We know that we need to look about, as Comrade Angela said, our family. All of us here tonight are family. You are my family, I am your family. But we have some families that need help. We have some parents that need to learn how to parent them. That they're not going to let no sex offender coming in the yard coming from them children. We need a community to recognize that because all of us are family, we we have a responsibility to protect our children. When we see something that's warning in the community that's not right, talk about it. Don't pick out the phone video, not post on the social media. Talk about it and make it find a way to stop it. That's what we have to do. We have to stop it. Horace, Northeast and Tango is my home. This is where I live. This is where I born with. And that is why here on the song says, not just born and destiny. This is what me want to represent. When I tell them that I want to represent this constituency, some of the leaders in the party said they want to send me somewhere else. But you have an easier. Instead of no one to come and have their work so hard and I've got and maybe we know it. Instead of that, no, I'm not worried about that. More tell me about it. Because I know I was born free. And because I know, comrades, that I have all of you. I have all of you on my side. Because I am your side. Comrades, there's so much that we need to do in September. Let's go right now. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. Let's go right now. Who will be taking the blessing and tomorrow? This year in the future here. Support! Jamaica ready. And if you listen to what Comrade Angela Goldberg said, the whole of Jamaica ready. And I want you to know that as women in this People's National Party, as women, Comrade England, Vice President for Region 3 Women's Movement, as women, we're no friend for nobody. We have Portia Simpson in our blood, in a way. I'm a chairman blood, in a way. I'm a friend for nobody. And any man come, no disrespect to our men because we do love our great men. No figure ladies, we love our men. Rolando, never tell you about my men. I will never listen to me. We love our men. And we love them very well. But to see the men them, what they leave to say, them can look down upon us as women. Comrade Stacey, you have a whipping for the one. Comrade Henry, you have a whipping for the one. We want more of you in the parliament. And so, comrade, I want you to continue to give support to your women in politics. I want you to continue to hold up their hands. It's a very tough one, but as women, we are going to stand firm and strong. Because what? Because what? This moment you're going to be hearing from my member of parliament, former member of parliament. You're going to be hearing from the sheriff himself, the spare boy himself. He's going to be introducing
of my baby, Tisha grew up in my heart. Until she turned big in my Horace division. Power to you and power to the people. I'm going to sit down. So, comrades, I want to say how happy I am to see the platform part. Because these are friends of mine over the years. Somebody like comrade back. You know, when I see somebody, I say to myself, you know, history going to repeat itself. Chung been there for 27 years. 27 years. When I went into the constituency in St. Catherine, in 27 years, PNP unit one time. One time. When it will happen in Northeast in 27 years, PNP unit one time, which is this time. Here up, I served in the Senate, and jailed myself, I applied on myself, and we served in the House. You came to have yes. So, when I see all these people who are here, Steve McGregor from Central Kingston, we have to take him home. We have to take him. Steve is one of the fine policemen that the force has turned on. I don't know, I'll tell you another history. The biggest pay increase that the police ever had, it was under the ministerial responsibility of the one them called KD. And on the federation was Steve McGregor. And he was the numbers man. So here was a situation in which I am the minister. I want to see the police get a good salary. The government could not have given them what I wanted because it was a repeat. So I advised them, go to arbitration. They didn't want to go. And I finally persuaded them one night after we don't drink and not have cold water. And they finally were persuaded and they got 85% in the first year and 45% in the second year. You see who get the increase? Not the minister, the police. You see who get the increase? No, the Prime Minister. Not the civil servant. So change. Time come to get with us. Chuck has been here for all these years, and I drive around searching for a legacy. what has been left? Some bond, some change, hunger. Some have left no legacy. So hold on now, reason. After all those years, he has not left any legacy. Why is it we must believe that in the next term, if we go back again, he's going to have legacy? Chung. And we can't only park Chung with your hand. I want to congratulate Barnaby and Michael for bringing out for the conference. And we want to start with Stacy. Then we move to Chang and Waterloo and Barbican Division. The work starts now. So, the party has a certain power. And one power it gave me was to declare anybody I see and say that good worker, to declare that person a warrior and worker for the People's National Party. And so you may have seen me looking, searching to see who I was going to talk about and say, searching to see who I was going to talk about and say, that's a warrior. Where that going to stand up? I'm going to tell you this. I searched the crowd, and every single person I see out here is a warrior for the people. As warriors, we are going to go there, not physically, but we're going to fight for this constituency and we're going to win it. Hear me? Everybody here is a part of the winning team. Everybody here is a worker. And everybody here must take on a responsibility to say, I am going to be one of those who is going to make this constituency placed in the column of the People's National Party under the leadership of Stacey Lang. Make sense that we cause slavery. Cause them, but we don't vote against them. That's what we have to vote them out. And we have to work to get to work. To Barnaby, to Jamaica, to Stacy, when you see me, never write it down. Telephone number, someone can call you. Take 9371271. Call me and tell me that you want I have to tell you this one. Something was happening in the constituents. I did not like it. We put up flag and them take it down. And them said, when we put it up, them said, they're not going to take it down. And they'll take it down. Well, I thought you. And I said, look, you want a nice, decent, clean campaign. We don't want to worry. When we put up your flag, let the flag stay. Because if you put up yours, we're not. We said that we don't believe in flag. I said, well, if we believe in it, just leave our flag alone. What I want us to do is to have a campaign for the political things that are happening in the country to be for Stacy can be a part of a team to make life better for Jamaicans, us, all of us. That's what I want. And that's what you want. That's what all of us. So comrades, I'm really trying to do this to share my voice with Northeast Sudan. Everything that I have learned in politics, I am passing on to her. I know that within her heart, within her mind, within the way she operates, is a desire to serve the people of Northeast Sudan. And when the election is called and the votes are cast on that night, when the counting, the night will belong to